What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dummy Wormy, and we've been talking about this game on and off now for a little while. What game is that? Well, it's Sweet Baby Inc. influenced Tales of Kanzara Zau, a interesting game with honestly a decent premise, a decent idea, and ultimately failed solely because Sweet Baby Inc. was a part of it. And because of that, this indie game that was connected to EA and Sweet Baby Inc. ultimately floundered, and just as you can see here on that part place, saw a peak concurrent player base of 287. And we come over here to actually SteamDB, yeah, 287 is its all-time peak ever since the game came out a few months ago, and it's never gotten better. It's just continued to get worse. They started putting out the game on discounts and stuff, and what didn't help the game was the director himself coming out here, Abakuru Salim, and saying that no, the game's doing just fine, even though we just threw it out on discount and stuff. And it's just everybody hates games with diversity, and it's just people hate black people in games and stuff like that. Even though Salim, he's in House of the Dragon, a show that very clearly proves that no, nobody has a problem with diversity in gaming. Nobody has a problem with diversity in media at all. They just have a problem with bad games. But with this situation, your game seemed decent. You just went about the business side all wrong, connecting what should have been an indie game to a AAA industry and trying to get AAA money from an indie game. That's very self-explanatory and very easy to figure out. But yes, he decided to go on this massive victim tirade, blame everybody else in the world, say it's not his fault, not the game's fault, it's just them evil, racist, bad people that don't like diversity in games. Well, after this, just last week, he got told that the whole thing's getting shut down. Tales of Kanzara Zau developer lays off entire team and puts entire game division on hiatus after previously claiming game sales were fine. So your game that's ultimately successful, again, that you came out here and said was perfectly fine. Ignore the fact that we just put it out on discount. Ignore that we're trying our hardest to get people interested in this game. Ignore everything that we've been doing. We're failing, and we just had to shut everything down. Facts aren't connecting to what you're telling us, but this was inevitable. I've been mentioning it this whole time. I don't believe that this was a failure of the Sweet Baby Inc. side. I think this was solely a business failure here, because in concept, there's nothing wrong with this game existing. It was a love letter to Salim's, I think, grandfather and some of the stuff that he grew up in, tales from where he's from in Africa and stuff like that. There's some interesting stuff here. There's some interesting connections, and there's some cool stuff here. There's no problem with this game existing like that. It just seemed like a platformer and not something I'd be interested in. But the problem is, and the biggest problem with this game, and we can come right back on over here to SteamDB, and we can take a look. The publisher, Electric Arts. Franchises, EA Originals. You connected what should have been a simplistic indie game to AAA studios, to AAA needs, to requirements that need AAA and AAA money to be successful. If you're doing that with this newer IP, with this newer game that, again, should have always been an indie game with indie level creativity, with indie level stuff, but you're throwing AAA money behind it, you're not going to be successful. You're ultimately going to fail. You're ultimately going to fall flat on your face because you're not capable of producing the amount of money that is actually required to make this game a success. It's a brand new IP with no real connection to anything out there. Sales and all the marketing behind it was all about how it's Africa and stuff like this. Nobody's ever seen this before. You should have set your standards a little bit lower. You should not have been expecting all this massive money. I'm expecting essentially to be the next Fortnite. And I know I'm being a little hyperbolic there, but just follow me on this. You need to recognize what is actually at stake here and how to better prioritize your business and your marketing needs. This game had no reason and no justification to be connected to EA like it was. But because of its connections to Sweet Baby Inc., because in fact the actual developer and the actual creator of the game is really good friends with Sweet Baby Inc. and has connections into helping establish some of their previous companies, it was always going to fail. Sweet Baby Inc. utilized its own connections to get it the connections that it has, utilize its own benefits to help get this game connected to AAA studios and get it the funding of AAA game when it should have just stayed an indie game. And because of that, nobody was playing this game. Ultimately, you failed. You fell flat on your face. You didn't market it well. Nobody cared about it. And when you should have actually been out there trying to ingratiate yourself with the audience, you decided to say it's just a bunch of racists that are hating your game. And that's the problem with everything going on right now. You played your victim card mentality. You used all your modern day bullcrap to try to hurt your own game. And at the end of the day, you fell flat on your face and failed. Where are you now? I thought you were successful. I thought you were doing well. Am I supposed to just ignore the fact that you just laid off your employees? Am I supposed to ignore all this? No. You lied, you shot way too high up there, and you ultimately fell flat on your face. Welcome to the real world, where you need a little bit more than just more representation to succeed. But I'm gonna leave it there. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a video go live, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.